connecting the stories of women in the American South with women in South Africa.
I was interested in reconnecting. Sheila's Day was an opportunity for people to come back together.
Telling the stories of black war heroes.
They were men very much like Jackie Robinson, who took a lot in order for others to gain a lot.
It was a big fat rock. Now that's how come the church is on.
Creating new works.
Here's the way it was. Here's the way it was.
They are like the little leagues to baseball. They're the little leagues of what's going to happen to us in the future, our future in the theater and film and in television.
It's Crossroads, the story of a theater.
An old building, abandoned former warehouse, sewing factory. And the stage manager back then said, Crossroads. It was not something you had to think about. It was just there. It was right. Because it was about the physical coming together, but it was also about the coming together of spirits, of people from different cultures, different times, generations, genders. It was coming together of many different types of forms and styles. And it was who we already were.
The town of Crossroads, North Carolina. Place of my birth.
And I thought the boogeyman wore white sheets. To put on your shirt. Place the metal ring around the left wrist like so.
In the words of Langston Hughes, hold fast to dreams. For if dreams die, life is like a winged bird that cannot fly. God bless you all.
Hi, my name is Tony Israel, founder and CEO of RealEmN Productions. I'm here today to introduce our new series, the Blueprint Series. It is going to be inspiring, fantastic, place to go to see everything theater, to be inspired, to be encouraged. I'm here to introduce our first series.
I know I had enough.
Yes, Rhenotha.
I'm about to eat a piece of
Probably is a Rhenotha somewhere. All right.
Yeah,
so 1,000 years.
What's up, everybody? We're talking everything you need to know when it comes to the emergency room.
So that's good business.
Good evening. My name is Rhenotha Whitaker. I am a New Jersey media and TV personality. You may have seen me on a show called The Dr. Oz Show. Yes, he was minted by Oprah, and I'm still claiming The Dr. Oz Show. I was a regular correspondent on there for about 8 seasons since 2015, and you can currently find me on health.com's YouTube series called Ask an Expert. I'm your host there. I am also the co-chair for the New Jersey Performing Arts Center Faith-Based Committee, where we are letting people know all the good things that are happening at New Jersey Performing Arts Center right in Newark, New Jersey, and we are having a good time doing it. My 9 to 5 though is Clinton Hill Community Action. I'm the deputy director there, but I am also an entertainment girl at heart. So you can check out my website at Rhenotha.com. Now tonight, we are talking with the legendary Ricardo Khan. I know, right? Ricardo. So you know who Ricardo Khan is? You better know who Ricardo Khan is. Ricardo Khan is one of the co-founders of the legendary, much needed theater, Crossroads Theater in New Jersey, in New Brunswick, currently right now. They've had several locations. I'll let him get into that. But without further ado, come on, Ricardo Khan.
And here I come. Hi, Rhenotha. And it's a pleasure to meet you and to know you. I didn't know all that stuff you did.
Oh, thank you so much. Listen, let me do this right now. Yes. Okay. Welcome to RealEmN for the Culture, the Blueprint series. Ricardo Khan, appreciate you so much. You have done so many things for theater in New Jersey and Black culture, and I am the better for it. Oh man, so gosh, I think my first theater performance, I think I was about 14 years old, and I was supposed to go see Cats.
Cats on Broadway.
I was supposed to go see Cats, but something happened and I couldn't go. And I believe my first theater performance wasn't until I got to college. Isn't that ridiculous?
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when you do it. Just
as long as you do it.
You know, my first experience with theater probably was very early because of my parents. And they loved our culture, and they loved, they took me to all kinds of stuff musically. But it wasn't until high school when I went to my first Broadway show. And my first Broadway show, you talking about Cats, my first one was Hello, Dolly. But check it out, right? It wasn't with Carol Channing. It was Pearl Bailey.
Oh, yes.
Right? And Cab Calloway. And it was an all-black cast. And I'm like a child. There are a bunch of us as kids coming up on a bus from Camden, New Jersey, wondering, why are we going to Broadway? What is that? And then Hello, Dolly, what is that? And then when that curtain opened up, Rhenotha, and we saw people who looked like us, we got it. We got it.
Yes.
We got it. And ever since then, that's what I've been trying to do, is put our images out front.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you've been doing that for such a long time through Crossroads Theater. I mean, I just need to hear it from myself. When you graduated from Mason Gross, I did my homework, receipts.
Yes, yeah. I got you. Okay. Yeah.
And it was like 1978. You were like, I don't see me in theater. And so even in Jersey, you got started with Crossroads Theater.
Well, because at that particular time, there was a lot happening in New Brunswick, and people were coming out of school and saying, I want to stay here, I want to work here. And New York was not that far away. Right. But it's just that everything that was being done in New York, especially as Black actors, pimps, drug pushers, drug dealers, anything like that. That's what was happening. And what I wanted to do, and what Lee Richardson, he and I both came out of Mason Gross at the same time. We were both auditioning and going up for all of these things. And there was that. There were all of these negative images going on, but at the same time, there was the Negro Ensemble Company. And there was Woody King's New Federal Theater, and there was Barbara Ann Teer's National Black Theater up in Harlem. And you're thinking, well, shoot, maybe that's the way to do it. Do it yourself, right? If you're going to control your destiny, and if you're going to represent your culture, do it in such a way that you control it. And that is why we started Crossroads.
Wow. So, I mean, I would ask your theatrical journey, and you can definitely wax poetic about that. But I also want to ask how you feel now about you being a part of history in theater. Because, sir, you know you're legendary, right?
I know I'm older than some other people.
You look good, okay?
But I of course, none of us set out to make history. All we were trying to do was pass on what was given to us. And so maybe now what I'm thinking is not just about the work that we do now, but how do I pass it on? How do we make sure that the next generation and those after that not only get to see the work at Crossroads, but also see themselves up there too, just like you, and and realize that we don't have to. We could be on that stage and we could tear up, but we could also be backstage, and we could also be managers, and we could also be publicity artists, and we can be designers and directors and stage managers. We could produce. We could do it all, and that's what's happening nowadays. But it wasn't happening back then so much. Nowadays, all of these opportunities are opening up. We have Black plays on Broadway. You know, we have
multiple at the same time.
Who ever heard of that? You know,
who would have thunk it? You're right.
The doors are open now, and we're flying in, and I'm glad for that. But I'm also most grateful for when the doors belong to us.
Yeah, I know that's right. I remember my first memory of going to Crossroads. I believe I was going to see it was the show between a discussion between Martin and Malcolm.
Oh, yes. It was called The Meeting.
Yes. It was called The Meeting. It was amazing. Amazing. Now what? Wow, that was in the 90s, right?
That was in the 90s, and actually it was a double bill. It was The Meeting. We did The Meeting, and then that same night we did a play called Zora about Zora Neale Hurston. But it was in the 90s. It was an interesting time because the relationship between Blacks and white people, at one time, that's all it was. It was black and white. But once we started getting into the 90s, we started recognizing in our communities, especially in New Jersey, that there are there are all kinds of brown people in our community, and so it was a fascinating time to continue to grow a theater and an audience, and I think Crossroads is probably one of very few organizations that can really boast having that level of diversity in our audience. The fact that people come from all different backgrounds to see the shows, and the shows are rooted in the Black experience, yes, but they're for everybody. They're for us, and they're for everybody. And so to see that audience there from all walks of life, of all shades, listen, that's where we got our name, Crossroads. It's the coming together.
There you are. Come on now, bring that thing together.
It's the coming together of people from all backgrounds, you know. In order to share something that might just change them, make them a little better when they leave than how they were when they first came in. It's an experience. It's not just coming out to see a play because it's good for you. No, you're coming into Crossroads. We call it Crossroads Festival Theater now, right? Because we're doing we're doing shows in every part of the center now, right?
Yeah.
So the idea is to come in and look around and say, oh my God, this place celebrates me in every way. In every way. And that's what we are trying to do with the plays, yes, but also with art work, with a Black-owned bookstore, with literature, with our music, with food, with drink, discussions.
Right.
My God, if we could have discussions in the lobby after the shows, if we could get people going out into restaurants still talking about the shows, then we're doing our work. We're doing our work well, because God knows we need the conversation in today's world, and more than anything, we need to own our own narrative. So that's what it's all about.
Right. So in my community, there are still a lot of young people who have not been to theater, who have not been to New York theater or any, local theater.
Right.
What is the tactic in 2022 to get young people interested in theater? And I'm talking about like at elementary school age and the below 14 years old, and getting them interested. Obviously it's their parents, but also, how do you see getting young people interested in theater?
In the arts? It's a tough one now when it comes to schools, because school budgets are slashed. Budgets for buses to get them there are almost non-existent. So it really does rely on the families. It relies on the parents and the teacher and the friends, the aunts and the uncles, just bringing kids to a place, not because it's good for you, not because of that, not because you're going to go and learn something.
Right.
No, you're going to go and have fun.
So that you can enjoy it, right?
So you can enjoy it. I did a play a while back called Fly, and it was about the Tuskegee Airmen of World War II. But it was, it was commissioned at Lincoln Center Education in New York. So it was sent out to schools. But I thought about that, and I was being told, don't dumb it down, right? Do what you normally do. And so I did, but I thought, but nowadays, as opposed to how it was back in the day, what would it be like if we were to experience a play the way you experience a video game? Okay. For example, I mean, what would that be like when you start to see everybody's eyes going all over the place, all over the screen? That's what I want. I want that visceral response, that energy. So I used a hip hop tap dancer to tell the part of the story that the actors could not tell because they were Black in the Army, and there are things they couldn't say. Right.
Yeah.
And young people really get into stuff like that. And I just feel like when we expand not only what the play is, but how we tell it, so that it's exciting, so that we take advantage of the magic of theater, that ultimately, I think, is how you get young people to the theater.
Right. And intergenerational as well. Creating plays that everybody can get into, grandma, auntie, grandma and grandchild, and getting all of them interested together so that they can enjoy it together. And just like you said, not because I'm trying to learn something, but just opening my horizons and going so that I can enjoy it, and this be enjoyable for me and something that I want to take, generations to come.
I was just reading an article today because I go up to Martha's Vineyard a lot to write. And I was seeing an article about somebody who has a place up there, and she's using that to do readings and introduce people of all ages intergenerationally to our culture, to the arts. And it just occurred to me that, as she was saying, she got there because her parents took her there. That's how it started for me going there too, because my parents took us there. There are all kinds of ways we can maintain the intergenerational spirit and energy and activity. It starts with the parents recognizing that they got it from somewhere.
Right.
So now pass it on. Take your kids, take the time. But I want to say one more thing, and then I'll shut up.
No. You giving all the jewels, dropping all the gems. Yes.
Well, one of the things I want to say, we were talking about I know we're going to talk about the shows that are coming up in June. Yeah. But while that festival is going on at Crossroads, there's also every Saturday morning what we call Free Family Saturdays. And that brings children and their families together for free.
Every Saturday
morning for free at Crossroads during the festival, in order to see a world-class artist. And that's being kicked off by one artist. Her name is Falu, and she just received the Grammy Award.
All right. Grammy Award winning.
You know what I'm saying? Grammy Award winner for best children's album. Okay. Nice. I think I still say album, right?
Yes, you can. We still say album.
We still say, okay, all right.
Nothing. Some things stay the same.
I know. And the other thing is, Guy Davis is a Grammy Award nominee for this year, and he is the star and writer of one of the plays we're doing called Sugar Belly and Other Tales.
I'm gonna get to that Ricardo Khan.
Well, I just want
to. You know what? You done queued it up. You done queued it up.
I'm just talking Grammy right here.
You done queued it up. So all right. So we'll get into self-care a little bit later, since you done queued it up already. But I just want to ask you, what inspired you the most for the culture and Crossroad Theater's upcoming production, Freedom Rider. Of
Freedom
course,
Rider.
conceived and
Yeah,
directed by the one and only Ricardo Khan. And Sugar
Thank
Belly
you.
and Other Tales, My Father Told Me, written and
Yes.
performed by Guy Davis.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes. You know, talking about Guy Davis, when he talks about Another Tales, his father told him, Guy is the son of Ossie Davis, you see? So Ossie Davis and Ruby Dee were very important to Crossroads. You know, Miss D considered Crossroads one of her artistic homes. And they, in fact, did a play together called Two Ha-Has and a Homeboy, Ruby, Ossie, and Guy. And Guy was younger then, but now he's grown up and he's there with this piece. And and I think that that's also an intergenerational thing. It just with him and the stories his family told him that just go way back in terms of our culture. In terms of Freedom Rider, you know, that's it's been a beautiful trip for me. First of all, I brought in 4 other writers to work on it with me because I wanted to tell the story of the Freedom Riders, but I wanted to tell it in a way that really emphasized the individuals. You know, like who were these people? Who were them as people? What were their family lives like? What did they have to get into in order to say, hey, mom, dad, I want to be a Freedom Rider? What did they have to deal with? And
what's their backstory?
What's their backstory? And so a large part of the show is the backstory before they even get on the bus. And when they get on the bus, they meet people from all over the country. But you know what? They're all young. They're college students, right? These are young people who in 1961 decided that they could make a difference. And here's how they were going to make a difference. They gave up their summer breaks from college to get on buses to go south to help desegregate the interstate travel. And it's so important that young people understand that they could do it too, because too often old folks say, "Oh, you don't know. Back in the day, we did this. Back in the day, we." No. This is for you, y'all. This is for you, young people. This is for you to see that in this day, where so much is going crazy and we gotta fight. You could do it too.
Yeah, and it's important to keep telling those stories. It's important to keep telling those stories because, you know, curriculum it still isn't telling those stories when it comes to the educational system. And so, you know what, people, listen, if you are in Jersey, in the New Brunswick area, first off, you need to go to Crossroads for free Saturdays, okay? Hang out with Grammy Award winning.
That's right. Free Family Saturdays.
Absolutely. Family Saturdays at the Crossroads Theater, FREE. It is for me, free, okay? And come on and get out the house. I know we've been cooped up for COVID. It's time to get out the house, but wear your mask, you know, because numbers and things, and be safe. And of course, you know, if you're vaccinated, you know, but still wear your mask. Get out the house. Go see Freedom Rider. Go see Sugar Belly and Other Tales My Father Told by the Guy Davis. Sir, I mean, you are just putting out things that we need to see, that others need to participate in, and tell somebody else. All right, share, hashtag that. Attend with us. Hashtag attend with us for Crossroads Theater. Listen, now you are the creative director for Crossroads Theater. I'm sure your life is haywire 24/7. You work 24/7. What are some of your what does self-care mean to you? What do you do in your downtime, Ricardo Khan?
Yeah, you know, I would love to say that I love to walk the river. You know, I walk the river. I live close to the Hudson River, so I walk and I imagine that the breeze of the wind is sending me messages from all over the world, right? and part of that comes from the fact that as a Black person, I don't see my heritage as only America. I see it from all over the world.
Yeah.
Our roots as Black people span the world, and that's what energizes me whenever I reconnect. My father is ethnically Indian from Trinidad, okay?
Wow.
And my
Okay.
mother is African American from Philadelphia.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? So
born and raised on the playground is where she spent most of her days. Okay, go ahead, Ricardo.
And they met at Howard University, right?
Wow.
So I guess in my downtime, as much as I would like to, I love to connect with all of my roots, with my family, with the roots around the world. I love to travel. But honestly, I have to honestly say, I think it's my work that I love the most. What is my uptime? It's whenever I get a chance to be in a rehearsal hall with actors and create a show, or on my porch and write a play.
I can imagine every time you
play piano.
Okay, excuse me, sir.
Well, we had to back in then. In those days, we had to. My parents made us learn the piano. And then after that, we could keep on with the piano, or we can go to another instrument. But I stuck with the piano.
I play my vocal cords.
Okay,
I can't tell an A from a C, from a D to an E. No, if you play it, I can sing it.
You can sing it. You can sing it.
All these years, no, I can't read notes still. I just sing by ear.
Yeah. Well, in Trinidad, the steel pan is there. The steel drum was created in Trinidad, right? And you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Right, and people read that. People play those, and they're only now learning how to read it. Right.
Yeah.
They play it by ear for the most part. That's okay. That's okay.
Thank you, Ricardo Khan.
Yeah.
Thank you for validating that I only sing by ear and I can't read notes.
And what about dancing? You dance too?
Of course, Ricardo Khan.
Well, there you go. You know what Satchel Paige says, and dance like no one's watching.
That's right. And that's exactly what I do. I'm actually, in addition to everything else I do, I'm also a fitness enthusiast where I'm a fitness instructor. Don't let the big girl fool you. You can't see all of me, but
I'm glad you can't see all of me.
I'm sure you look fabulous.
No, you talk about COVID, right? I mean, during COVID times, we stopped for a while getting out there and exercising. We need to get back out there.
Yeah. For at NJPAC, I did Wellness Wednesdays on Zoom, and I did house music Zoom class.
Oh, right.
Yeah, house music Zumba.
I think I knew about that.
Oh, yeah?
I think so. Okay. That was me.
Well, Ricardo Khan, thank you so much for sitting with us today.
This is great. Thank you, Rhenotha.
I'm so glad I was able to glean from your brilliance, your legendariness, your historicalness.
It's about passing it on. It is about passing it on and passing
yes,
it
indeed.
on. I just had a wonderful experience directing Sweet Honey in the Rock. And you talk at Crossroads, and the whole, when you talk about greatness, that's how I look at it. I look at the people I get to work with, like Sweet Honey in the Rock, or the people who I get to write about, like the Freedom Riders, like Tuskegee Airmen, like, or people like Ruby Dee and Ossie Davis. These are the blessings that I'm grateful for. And I live to be able to bless others by passing it on.
Right. And that's why you never get tired of it, because your work is play.
Got a lot of work still to do.
Absolutely.
A lot of work still to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So again, thank you for sitting with us and just having a chat with us. Listen, this is the Blueprint. Okay. This is Ricardo Khan. I would say clap it up, but there's no audience. Clap it up. Thank you so much, Ricardo Khan. Again, hashtag attend with us. And please go out and see those plays, Freedom Rider, Sugar Belly, and Other Tales My Father Told Me. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.
loved about Dreamin' Zenzele was just the spirit of Mariam Makeba being right there on the stage.
I think they did a phenomenal job of telling the story of her life.
It was so bold and thoughtful and wildly entertaining.
And so powerful.
The history, the music, the emotion woven together so masterfully. It all hit me like a wave.
I've literally been waiting for someone to create this show. Mariam Makeba is a hero of mine.
The performance is amazing.
The power of the music, the story, and the relevance to today's world.
The music just carried forth and brought everyone's heart into the room, and I wish everyone could see it.
Say yes, say yes, say yes. It's time for joy. It's time for sisterhood. It's time for all to experience for colored girls. This April on Broadway, resilience blooms into passion, poetry, music, and dance that explodes off the stage in this reinvention of the iconic masterpiece. Fearlessly new, fiercely now, for colored girls who have considered suicide when the rainbow is enough. 20 weeks only. Get tickets today and join the celebration.
Saw Skin of Our Teeth at Lincoln Center Theater.
Just saw the Skin of Our Teeth, amazing, loved it.
It's about a family that undergoes trauma but finds a unified journey through their own experiences.
It offers everything, you know, from theater to visuals to dancing, all of that.
See something from multiple perspectives, go on a little bit of a roller coaster throughout. You don't necessarily know which direction it's going to go.
It connects so intimately with the audience in so many unexpected ways.
It's definitely a show that incorporates a little bit, that's something that everyone can enjoy.
Visually, it was stunning. Gave me a lot to think about.
Production itself is very elaborate. The sets got applause.
I loved all the set design, especially like the carnival scene at Atlantic City. Like that was my favorite.
I think that anyone would say that the woolly mammoth and the dinosaur had a tremendous amount of character.
These actors were completely committed.
While it was provocative,
very original,
eclectic for sure,
suspenseful,
entertaining,
exciting, and it makes you think and it gives you a good perspective.
I loved it. I loved it.
It was really amazing.
Each scene had something for everyone to enjoy.
I would encourage everybody to go see it.
This is how revival should be done.
From an accidental society and held the promise of what America could be. Paradise Square is the musical for our time.